David Wallace-Wells, The Uninhabitable Earth, Life After Warming. Embark on a thought-provoking journey through the harsh realities and consequences of climate change with David Wallace-Wells' captivating book, The Uninhabitable Earth, Life After Warming. This summary delves into the urgency and severity of our deteriorating environment, exposing the bleak future we face if we continue on our current path. Discover shocking insights on how climate change impacts our ecosystems, our health, our food supply, and even increases the risk of human conflict. By taking you through the intricate complexities of cascades, air and water crises, and the role of climate change in driving human conflicts, this summary will open your eyes to the immense challenges and potential solutions in tackling global warming.
Global warming's grim reality. Leaders' efforts to tackle climate change seem futile as the world is set to surpass the 2 degrees Celsius temperature increase. This will cause disasters such as city flooding, permanent drought, and wildfire. The staggering worst-case scenario of 8 degrees Celsius by 2100 would make equatorial regions uninhabitable. We need to keep in mind that global warming is happening at a frantic pace, and we are responsible for saving the planet. Climate change cascades. The impact of climate change goes beyond what we know, and its consequences lead to complicated factors called cascades. Cascades occur when the effect of climate change warms the planet even more, causing more effects and more warming in a destructive feedback loop. This summarized article focuses on 2 high-context examples of climate change cascades, the melting of Arctic ice sheets, and the occurrence of wildfires. The article explains how these events work and emphasizes the importance of avoiding a level of catastrophe that is already looming ahead. The increasing frequency of devastating storms. As the planet experiences global warming, storms and hurricanes are becoming more frequent and severe. Warmer air can hold more moisture, causing more severe flooding and heavier rainfalls. The number of storms has doubled since 1980, and damages from these storms have increased 7-fold in the United States. Hurricanes are also becoming more frequent and stronger, with just 1 degree of warming increasing the frequency of Category 4 and 5 hurricanes globally by 25 to 30%. It's time for immediate action to address the impact of climate change on our planet. Rising oceans. The consequences of melting polar ice caps due to climate change could result in the loss of many of the world's most beautiful beaches, famous landmarks, cities, and even the internet. The rising ocean levels could leave more than 164 million people in Bangladesh and entire cities like Jakarta, Mumbai, and Kolkata underwater. The problem is not limited to the future. Still, it could impact the world's fiber optic cables and what powers the internet in the next 20 years. To prevent this apocalyptic scenario, experts want immediate action to be taken, and each year, the average American emits enough carbon to melt 10,000 tons of Antarctic ice. The impending food crisis. Grain has been a staple food source since the agricultural revolution. It still constitutes 40% of our diet and is crucial to global food security, but the supply and demand dynamics of grain are changing. By 2050, global food demand will double, yet food production already accounts for 1/3 of global emissions. Climate change is set to worsen supply-side problems with potential crop yield decline of 50% by 2050 and decreasing nutritional value. The food crisis is a health crisis. The world needs to act fast to tackle this challenge. Climate change and global health. The progress made by medical science over the years could be erased by climate change. The Arctic ice sheets contain bacteria of ancient diseases, some extinct for millions of years, and current illnesses may spread due to the planet's warming. The global temperature increase is making ecologies more susceptible to disease transmission. Warmer and moist environments are emerging as breeding grounds for bacteria-carrying pests like ticks and mosquitoes. As the Earth's tropical zones expand, more countries will become breeding grounds for malaria and other mosquito-borne diseases. The spread of dormant and current illnesses presents a global health crisis that threatens human life. Breathless, The dire consequences of air pollution. Take a deep breath. Wait, don't. At this very moment, the world is experiencing severe air pollution, and 1 in 6 deaths is caused by the air we breathe. The impact of air pollution is beyond just physical harm, but there's also a decline in cognitive abilities, mental illness in children, and a higher risk of developing dementia in old age. These problems are happening right now, and it's only a matter of time before everyone is affected. The looming water crisis. Water scarcity is becoming a major concern due to a rising global demand for freshwater used mostly in agriculture. Freshwater itself accounts for only 2% of the Earth's water supply, and out of that, only 1% of it is accessible by humans. By 2030, the global freshwater demand is projected to exceed supply by 40%. The situation is exacerbated by global warming, which poses a threat to high-altitude snow deposits, the source of water for half of the world's population. Climate change is also likely to produce water-driven conflicts in the coming decades. The human toll of climate change. Climate change is not just about rising sea levels and natural disasters, it can also negatively impact human behavior. Hotter temperatures and pollution are linked to increased violence, including car theft, assault, rape, and murder. Climate-induced droughts and natural disasters also lead to reduced agricultural yields, sparking competition for food resources and increased social and political tensions. Every half degree of climate warming increases the chance of armed conflict anywhere in the world by 10 to 20%. In Africa alone, predicted temperature increases could lead to an extra 393,000 deaths in battle by 2030. Climate change is not just a future threat but a current reality that has already affected the chances of conflict in many parts of the world. Negative emissions, a hopeful but ambitious solution. The world faces a dire future with increased suffering due to climate change. However, negative emissions offer solutions with good and bad news. Bioenergy with carbon capture and storage, BCCS, involves growing and burning biomass while capturing and storing carbon. The second option, carbon-sucking machines, is feasible but expensive, requiring 100 million machines that cost $30 trillion. Both options show promise but are presently inefficient, and time is running out.
As The Uninhabitable Earth delineates, we are at a crucial crossroads in our fight against climate change. Our planet is facing a gloomy future with a myriad of challenges, including ice sheet melting, more frequent and severe storms, global food shortages, health crises, and devastating conflicts. The consequences of our actions have been clearly expounded, with cascades and feedback loops further amplifying our problems. Though promising solutions, like negative emissions technologies, exist, they remain largely impractical due to factors like cost and scale. Thus, it is imperative that we utilize the knowledge and solutions at our disposal to try and minimize the impending catastrophe, to secure a more hopeful and sustainable future for Earth.